Yeah, hi, this is Mike Hendrickson from OSCON 2015 in Portland, Oregon. I'm here with Ben Schumacher. Ben, how you doing?
I'm good, thank you.
So you're an innovation architect at Cisco.
Yes.
What a great title. So what do you get to do on your daily, journey?
So there's kind of a lot to it. I'm in the CTO organization for the Cloud Services Group. In a lot of ways, we're R&D, but the big thing is we're trying to sort of push the envelope of what is important in cloud architectures and software right now. And so my daily basis changes, honestly, day to day. Some days I work with ISVs trying to figure out partnerships. We also have some products we're trying to lead the charge on. So it changes, and some days I spend all day on GitHub issues. So
excellent. So at O'Reilly, we have this notion that every company is a software company.
Yeah.
And software is kind of eating the world, and software is defining the world.
Yeah.
Can you talk a little bit, because I know Cisco's traditionally been kind of the hardware,
right,
the router company. Are you seeing the same thing? Every company is a software company?
I think so. And even traditional, I have a friend of mine who used to always say that software is the ultimate customization of hardware, right? Hardware takes a long time, has long development life cycles, but to be agile and efficient and get to where our customers need to be, we have to start doing software. And we do that internally. We see it externally. I think that any company now who's not embracing software and automation is going to be left behind.
And so any company, because I'm hearing this, another trend that we're hearing is most large enterprises are going through some sort of shift or transformation as they're learning to grapple with data, with their performance, their bottlenecks, their use of open source. So there's this shift or transformation going on. Are you guys seeing something similar?
Yeah, absolutely. I actually, a few months ago was at Cisco Live, and they had the keynote speech there by Chambers, his last one. He spent a long time talking about reinventing, and fast IT was the term that they used, and really the idea that we need to be able to not only consume, but turn all this data and all this information we're getting out of everything, right? The Internet of everything, right? Into something valuable for our users and for ourselves.
So the Internet of everything, that's a Cisco term for IoT.
Yeah.
But IoT is much bigger than IoT, so I kind of like everything. Because you're looking at industrial equipment as well, and you guys are kind of an infrastructure.
Yeah.
So are you using containers or working much with containers and microservices?
Yeah, we are, absolutely. So my team sort of incubated a project and has now open sourced it. We call it the microservices infrastructure. We actually are rebranding it. It's a work in progress, what that's going to be named. But the idea is, we took all these best-in-class technologies and software. We started with Mesosphere, a bunch of things from HashiCorp, and brought them all together to try to give users and people that are developing cloud-native applications a way to sort of quickly get their work out and on the internet and for anybody to use, and they don't have to worry about the glue, right? Everybody's building the same glue out of all the same pieces of stack, but why not just have an opinionated version of that glue available that anybody can use? And that's what we're doing there.
So in a way, infrastructure as a service, but rolling it out to your customers as well?
Yeah. I mean, we right now are trying to. We've got some traction with some external customers. We're working actually with some internal tenants at Cisco. Cisco is a big company. There's a lot of different teams that have basically reinvented the software development lifecycle dozens of times in dozens of different ways, and we're trying to help sort of nail that down and say, really, it should look like this. And if you're going to bring your own issue management service or your own source code repository, we can use those, but the middle parts should run like this.
Yes. So another trend that we're hearing a lot about. So when the cloud first came around, there's a private cloud, there's a public cloud,
right.
There's AWS, there's all these different providers have clouds.
Right.
But isn't the real reality is that people are having hybrid clouds, and that's more practical for most people?
Yeah, I think it absolutely is. Especially when you look at some of the larger Fortune 500s, they have these big OpenStack deployments, and they've started embracing these technologies internally. But as you're doing this app development, at some point you may realize that, hey, this was important to my user base, but this actually is important to more people. And so how can we get this app mobility and move this beyond my private cloud? And Cisco is working. It's one of the big pushes now. They call it, we call it the intercloud, the Internet of Clouds, right? And it's the same idea. It's like, how can we glue together these pieces in a way that is still consumable for people building applications, for the IT teams, the engineering teams, but gives you the best in class of all of the options available.
So if you look at Cisco, right, a hardware company kind of redefining a software-driven company, software-defined, if you fast forward 12 months from now, where would you personally like to see your innovation architect efforts and your company be in 12 months from now? So,
again, I think it's a really good question. I think, Cisco needs to figure out a way. I'm a little opinionated in this area, probably off message a little bit, but like Cisco needs to figure out how to interface better with open source in particular. I think we need to be able to show our technology leadership in such a way that we can help other teams adopt these practices internally. So my goal, at least, is in 12 months I'll be spending a lot more of my time on GitHub and trying to wrangle a really rich open source community. I don't know that it will happen, but that's where I want to be.
That's the journey you want to take.
Absolutely, yeah.
Excellent. Ben, we look forward to that journey and working with you guys.
Thank you very much.